to Leafs Nation After Dark. I'm Zack Phillips, and in tonight's postgame show, we're going to be breaking down game number 71 of the Toronto Maple Leafs regular season, defeating the New Jersey losing to the New Jersey Devils here. Excuse me. There's a lot of stuff going on the screens here right now for me in front of me. So losing to the New Jersey Devils 6-3, moving to 40-22-9 so far on the season. And this one was an ugly one all the way around. Look, you get a ton of offensive chances. I think from that standpoint, you can be happy with it. You can be happy with some of the production, the high danger chances that were created, the pressure that this team continued to bring. But this was a completely disgraceful game from this team defensively. And I don't want to just sit here and talk about, the defense themselves. The 6 guys who played defense tonight were a problem. Those guys stunk. No, this was an entire gong show from this team, forwards included, defense included, Joseph Woll not having the greatest night here as well. He played an incredible game on Sunday, so it's not like we should come into this one and just absolutely shit on him for what went on here tonight, but that was an ugly game from this Leafs team. There was 0 defense being played. There was 0 defensive awareness. There was a lot of offensive zone turnovers, creating chances for the Devils there, leading to 2-on-1s, leading to breakaways. Like, this was a sloppy game, and the type of one that you'd want to have back, because this was not, you were just outmanned. This is a game that you're going to look back on when you wake up tomorrow morning and be like, wow, if we had just played an ounce of defense, just even the tiniest bit, we probably win that game last night. You sewer your goaltender with a couple of opportunities, some of those rushes. You sewer the defense with some of the offensive zone decisions that were made, whether it was these cross-ice passes, i.e. Max Domi late trying to do his best Alex Galchenyuk impression, or if it was creeping down into the offensive zone and turning around and firing passes back to your defensemen who just aren't there. There was just gong show mistakes all night long that just continued to happen over and over and over again that are just so easy to clean up, because these are not like, bad bounce happens here, bad bounce happens there. Yeah, you got goalied a little bit, but normally when we look at some of those games with like Chicago or Anaheim or whatever, and we're going to sit there and be like, yeah, you know what? You got goalied tonight. That was a tough one. It's because you lose like 2-1. Or 2, it's these tight ones where you go to overtime or you lose in a shootout or whatever, and you had 65 shots on goal, and the Toronto Star writes some stupid article about the fact that, some no-name goalie on the Anaheim Ducks. Like, no, that was not what happened here tonight. This was genuinely, this team just, the goaltender on the other end was incredible, but if you just played a slight resemblance of defense here, this game goes a completely different direction. Like, this one is an entirely different game for your team. This was so avoidable, so frustrating to see happen, because it's like you hold possession in the offensive zone for extended periods of time, make some stupid mistake, then they're going down the other end, generating a chance on a rush and getting an incredible opportunity. Why? I know you're missing Morgan Rielly. I know you're missing Joel Edmondson. That doesn't help, obviously. Like, these are ones that you're going to look back on and say, you want to fix that. You want to make sure that that's not happening. But I just don't get how this team puts themselves in a position that tough. Like, why do you did this to yourself? Mike Johnson was talking about, I don't know if you can call it like a bad win for New Jersey. Like, it's not a bad win. You took advantage of your opportunities, but this is an insane loss for this Leafs team to have this happen, because you just gave them chance after chance after chance here tonight. There was no need for any of that to be happening. You tighten things up defensively, you play better as a group, you have a little bit more responsibility, and you don't just look back there and say, well, Joseph Woll made so many saves and had a .950 save percentage on Sunday, he's got us here again tonight. You'd love for your goaltender to be able to bail you out, but holy shit, what was that? Like, that was no good. No good from this team. Very, very frustrating loss just from like a defensive perspective. This isn't a game that I look at and think down the stretch it changes anything about my perspective of the type of energy that they have, or how they're shaped as a whole, or the attitude and the character and the mindset they've started to show us that they have and they're bringing. But like, This is just one of those ones that you look at after the weekend that you had and say, why did you have to do this here against this Devils team tonight? Yeah, Jake Allen has been really good for New Jersey, but you handed them opportunities over and over and over again. Tammy saying, Zach, don't bring Riley into the discussion. He's not even a good defensive D-man. I mean, yeah, like that's fair. I'm just more talking about the overall outlook and build of the team that you have and how things are kind of shaped and constructed from that standpoint. But I know Edmondson, you bring Lyubushkin back in here as well, like continues in. I don't know. This is just an ugly game all around from this team that I am looking at and wishing that they would have kind of come out and had a way more complete defensive approach. Like I see James Myrtle here tweeting out the deserve to win a meter. We talk about it all the time about the deserve to win a meter. It doesn't mean everything. It does give you a sense of what went on. Leafs deserve to win a meter tonight, 83.6%. And I genuinely don't really disagree with that, and I don't think people watching would have if we're just considering what went on from an offensive perspective. It was just like chance, can't bury, and then stupid decision. It wasn't unlucky decision. That's the frustrating part with tonight's game. If we came away from this and said, hey, unlucky bounce leads to Devils goal, unlucky bounce gives the Devils an opportunity or gives the Devils a breakaway or bad penalty call or whatever, I think it probably comes back we look at this one in a different light, and myself included, I look at this one, you know what, it's okay, like you got unlucky, it is what it is. This game was just, you sewered yourself. You absolutely ruined your own chances here tonight. You lost 4-3. 4-3. Because of your lack of defensive awareness, your lack of defensive commitment. That's what's frustrating about this game tonight. Why do you show up here and just are not committed to it? I do not get this. If you guys are watching, whatever platform you're watching on right now, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Facebook, whether it's here on YouTube, if you're watching across different platforms and you haven't, make sure to head over to the Leafs Nation YouTube channel, subscribe there, like the stream here tonight. If we get to 50 likes, obviously do the smelling salts. I know that this is a therapy session for all of us to kind of break down everything that was going on and all the frustrating parts of tonight's game, what we want to see out of this team moving forward. We'll break it all down. That's what we're here for. I'll answer questions in the chat, all that kind of stuff. So working out something to try to fix a guest issue that we're going to try to get done so that we can get guests in a little bit easier and figure that stuff out. But yeah, fire away in the chat. I'll read questions. I'll read anything you guys are discussing. We'll try to figure it out. We're going to try to figure out defensive matchups, defensive pairings. We'll try to figure out line mates. Whatever it is you guys want to talk about here in this game tonight, we will dial it all in and start to kind of just recap everything that went on. Arnav, watch the Bruins versus Florida instead to see what's coming up in a month, and it's going to be an early exit, boys. Sorry. Zach, better luck next year. Well, Arnav, that's tough. That's unfortunate to kind of watch one game in which it's two competitive teams who are going back and forth that everyone looks at as contenders, and your team is playing the way that they did against the New Jersey Devils here tonight, and then having to realize that your team is going to face one of those two in the first round. So that's unfortunate. I obviously was more focused on the Leafs game than that, but that's good. That makes us feel good as Leafs fans, I'm sure, to know that that's coming down the pipe. Phenom saying, without 44, when the puck goes to the point, just no threat. I kind of disagree. I mean, I think that it's a little bit pairing dependent. It's who you've got out there, who's playing together, how all this stuff is going. We talk about it a lot, like The fact that Morgan Rielly feels like he doesn't shoot enough, he's not getting pucks through enough, it feels like it's changed a little bit, but there's obviously a reason that Sheldon Keefe has decided to go with Timothy Liljegren on the first power play, and it's not because Morgan Rielly is Bobby Orr back there creating offensive opportunities and Sheldon Keefe just wanted to try something else. It's because there was a lack of offensive production in his mind at least, so that's why he's changing things up. Patrick G here saying, thoughts on the defense, Zach? Like, if we're talking about the 6 guys who went out there, if we're talking about the 6 defensemen who played tonight, I'm not going to put the whole blame on those 6. This was a top to bottom Houdini act by the team defensively. Like everyone, there was a complete lack of defensive commitment from these guys. I'm looking at that Timo Meier goal and I just watch it over and over again and I just keep thinking about the fact like they just walked around. It felt like untouched in the defensive zone. The Willman goal in particular was one that was absolutely bugging me because that's Simone Benoit and Connor Timmins. Timmins is kind of like fishing around for pucks, fishing around for the sticks in front there, standing, looking. Benoit doesn't have anybody. Nyes doesn't have anybody. Willman just comes around, grabs a loose puck, puts it into an empty net while Joseph Woll isn't able to get across there. And it's like, somebody grab somebody put someone on their ass. Like if you're taking even if you've got to take a penalty there, it feels like that's a better solution than what was going on because it kind of just was like everyone was standing around puck watching a little bit, hoping someone else is going to pick up the guy that they were supposed to. It was just a stagnant, ugly effort from this team where it just felt like chances over and over and over again for the Devils that could have been easily prevented. There was just no team defense. I do think that those 6 guys is not ideal to have out there. Like you'd want Edmondson a part of it. You want Rielly to be a part of it, but they can't go. They're injured, so you got to figure out a way. Okay, well, that means everyone else is going to have to step up. What happens when Morgan Rielly normally goes out? The defensive group normally steps up. The offensive group normally steps up. Everyone pitches in defensively. Not here tonight. That was seriously lacking tonight. Frustrating. Just frustrating defensively. I still don't change my mindset on or outlook on this team. I don't change the way that I think that they're built with some of the character and stuff that they have. And I think that that's something that is really beneficial to a team that's looking to go on a playoff run because those guys being around your group, those guys being so heavily involved in the mix, it can really put things in a different light, put things in a different perspective where I'm not going to go into the playoffs thinking, hey, we will be beating these teams or we should be beating these teams. But I think that this gives you a much better chance with some of these characters and attitudes that you have in here. But like, if you're going to go into a game and just decide to not play defense, you're going to be fucked. You are going to be absolutely fucked every single time. That cannot be happening. You cannot be playing that way. That is a pathetic effort. Pathetic effort defensively. I see a bunch of questions here. I see some super chats as well, so I want to get to some of these and make sure I'm answering them. Let's get to this first. Super chat here from Dan Freeman. Dan, appreciate the support there. Dan says, I'm concerned with this idea that we are in a playoff spot, so we coast into it. We should be smashing everything that touches the puck to be ready to go. I mean, I think that there's a little bit of recency bias in this game tonight and maybe a little bit on the game on Sunday. Like I saw Nick Alberga tweet out tonight and I found it pretty funny, but I don't disagree. It was like, oh, has anybody hit anybody tonight? Like, yeah, that was kind of the way that the game had felt. There was a couple. We obviously saw Benoit step up and hit Kevin Ball, which turns into a power play for the Leafs because of Ball retaliating. Benoit, good on him for just get up and skate away. But tonight, obviously, just felt like a track meet. It was up and down. It felt a little bit like some of the Leafs hockey we've been used to over the past couple of seasons, where it's just all speed, all up and down. We're going to try to outscore you. And that defense thing that everyone talks about, how you're supposed to play, fuck it. We're not going to do it tonight. That was lacking 100%. It was frustrating to watch that. But I don't want to say, oh, this team is soft and they're going to coast into the playoffs being soft and like they're not going to be ready to go because there's. Look at the game on Saturday against the Oilers. Now, if that was the most that you're ever going to do and you're only going to do it for special occasions, then yes, Stan, I agree with you. You are completely screwed, and that's the wrong mindset to have. But I feel like some of these might have just been one-off games, and I'm going to try to be somewhat optimistic to think that they might be just one-off games. That game on Sunday, I listened to other people talk about it because I kind of went into it with like the immediate reaction and trying to just break it down right away after the game and determine what went on. But the thought to me was like, okay, Sunday, you take away from that game. You had to travel overnight. You went into Carolina to play a rested team. You went in there against a hot goaltender and you came away and you lost 2-1. Fair enough. Okay, get back home, get out of there. You had some guys who were sick. You had some guys who were injured, whatever. Maybe guys were banged up from the night before, like tired from that. Who knows? But you got into Carolina against a really good team that was rested and waiting for you. You come away losing 2-1. You obviously don't get any points, but as far as the game itself went, I didn't really have a problem. Then, flip into tonight's game. This is the one that pissed me off because I think that this Leafs team, based on the attitude and the character that we've given them the credit for, the attitude and character that I gave them credit for following the game on Saturday night, I think that they're going to go into this game and be fired up. I think they're going to go into this game and be ready to go. They're going to grit down defensively. They're going to take advantage. Tyler Bertuzzi scores a goal a minute into the game. I'm like, here we go. These guys are just going to fucking run New Jersey out of the building. You're getting nothing on the offensive side. We're going to pummel it to you, like pummel you in the offensive zone. We're not going to give you any opportunities. Anytime you touch the puck, we're just going to run you over. And it was like, nope, we're good. We don't need to do that. Joel Edmondson is in here, so we can't be tough anymore. Ryan Reeves isn't in the lineup, so we can't be tough anymore. It's like, well, what the fuck? If those guys are the entire identity of your team about being tough and being aggressive coming out into games, like I saw the comments that happened after that game, and I saw the way that team was talking about everything that went on and the team mindset. You know, McMahon and McCabe talking about, hey, we were going to come out there and we were going to take it to them first. We were going to take it to them right away. I was talking to a buddy of mine after the game, after we did the stream and later that night, and I was just saying to him, like, this team, and we're agreeing on the fact that this team, year after year after year, we watch them go out on the ice, and the other team has to punch them first if there's going to be any response. That game on Saturday night, we've seen it in smaller scales or smaller degrees in the games before leading up to the game on Saturday against the Oilers. But that game on Saturday night was like opening puck drop, fuck you, McDavid. Fuck you, Draisaitl. We're taking it to you right away. You're going to get no time, no space, and you're going to be so uncomfortable for 60 minutes here tonight. That was how they played with that mindset. And that wasn't just Joel Edmondson. It wasn't McCabe and these other guys that we might deem tough guys on this team. That was every single guy from top down. Then you go into the game on Sunday, and it was like, okay, whatever. You got out of there, and it's fine. Go into the game on tonight, and you didn't have that. Like, there was no physical punch. And it's not like you're supposed to go out there and just bruise and batter other teams, but it's not like the Oilers are a tough team that you were saying, hey, we have to go and play up to. We have to go and play up against. You just took it to them and decided we're going to play that way, and we don't care what you do. We don't care about your style of hockey. We don't care about any of that. We're going to play our game. We're going to play this way. And I think a lot of Leafs fans walked away from that game thinking, hey, hopefully that's our way of playing. That's who we are at the Maple Leafs. Right now, it kind of feels like it might have just been a one-off to do that for 60 minutes. Mr. P-Mail Bacon says, guys, nobody cares about these games. Wait 3 to 4 weeks. Then it's time to judge our team. Our C team played. Mr. P-Mail Bacon, that's a bullshit comment. Truthfully. This is not about a C team playing. Who are you missing on offense? Marner? You had Bertuzzi back in here. You had Domi over on the wing with Matthews. Second line, Nylander and Tavares. You had McMahon over there. Nyes moved down to the third line. He was playing with, Robertson. Kampf. Was it like you're missing Mitch Marner, and that's it. That doesn't mean you don't have to play defense. This wasn't an effort game. This wasn't an offensive ability game that you were missing here tonight or didn't have performed. This is 100%. You decided I'm not going to play defense tonight. As a team, they didn't play defense. You were missing Mitch Marner. If Mitch Marner not playing in your lineup is going to sewer your playoff chances, fold the season now and forget it. Don't waste my time. Don't waste anyone in the chat's time. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your energy. Don't waste your effort, because these guys, if that's what it's going to take, Mitch Marner's not playing, so we're not going to win. You're screwed. You have, if you are looking at a team that has less stars or is built differently, sure, I can understand that argument. You have John Tavares, William Nylander. You have Austin Matthews, Morgan Riley. You've got all these other pieces that are here. You should be able to figure it out. And I'm not saying just that guy coming back in changes drastically the defensive play, because he changes one line. Top to bottom here tonight, everyone that was on this in this lineup just did not show up defensively. That was what it was. It was a full-blown breakdown defensively from this team. A no-show, effectively, defensively. That's the frustrating part of tonight's game. We watched this team over and over and over again and just hope that there's going to be some semblance of defense being played or going on a nightly basis, and it felt really severely lacking here tonight. Did not understand how or why that was the case. Why do you decide to just take the night off doing that? Why? Another super chat here. Dan, appreciate the super chat. Dan says, time to ramp up for playing dirty because it's not easy peasy. I just didn't, look, Saturday night, what you had going on there was exactly what you need in the playoffs. And to think that kind of guy wouldn't be useful, and a guy like Joel Edmondson and what he brings to the game, what he brings to the lineup on a consistency basis, from what you're going to get defensively, you know what you're going to get physically. To think that guy wouldn't be useful, he can change the outlook of a game for your team from just a mindset perspective, and we saw that on Saturday. He's not going to change things with plays, with passes, with goals, but he's a guy who's going to make the other team's life hell, and that's kind of what you have to do if you're going to have any type of success in the playoffs. Obviously, him not being here tonight and probably missing the remainder of the week, as we saw, it's not going to be that easy. But if the identity of your team is not just one guy being tough, then everyone else has to step up and fill in gaps and fill in the role. Phenom, I feel like this year the NHL is kind of open. There are top teams, of course. Seems like an opportunity if Leafs can get it together. Yeah, Phenom, that's for sure. I would agree with that. It's more just, can you get it together? Can you figure out how to play defense on a nightly basis? You had the offense here tonight. That's undeniable. The offense was there. The offensive opportunities, the way that you played in the offensive zone, the shots, 26 shots on goal after the first period. Or I think they might have changed it back to 25 at the very end. But you had 39 shot attempts. The shot attempts were 39-14 in the first period. You had 25 shots on goal. The Devils only had 10. You were down 2-1 after the first period. The first goal, as far as that one goes, if we want to go through each of these goals, the first goal by the Devils there, maybe Lyubushkin can close the gap a little bit quicker, a little bit sooner at the blue line. But to me, I also think part of it is that he's kind of got to respect the fact that it's Luke Hughes coming through the neutral zone with speed. That's a talented defenseman on the other side that you heard them during the broadcast talk about the fact that he's played the most minutes for the New Jersey Devils this year. He's a rookie defenseman, but he's offensively skilled. He's offensively gifted. He's got good feet, he's got good speed, good footwork. You don't give him some of that respect, he might just blow by you and go in on a 1-0 on your goaltender. I think you got to give him a little bit of respect there. And then it kind of just ends up being an unlucky one where he fires it from out by what effectively felt like the blue line, and it's a knuckle puck that dips down over Joseph Woll's pad underneath his glove, and the Leafs end up losing that one. Like, you lose back-to-back here now. You lost back-to-back, you win back-to-back, you lose back-to-back again. You're going to have Washington coming up. Ugly there. Like, ugly. You also gave up 4 unanswered there to end the game. Yeah, obviously empty net, but still, 4 unanswered. This is a tough game. 0 for 2 on the power play. Can't make it work on special teams. Penalty kill goes 2 for 2. Okay. Not a good night for Joseph Woll. .792 save percentage. He needed to be better. Yeah, Mike Batson. Woll wasn't that busy and let in 2 or 3 he shouldn't have. I don't disagree. Tonight was tough. Maybe we get to hear post-game here about lessons learned. Wouldn't that be exciting? Learning some lessons after a game like this would be must-watch TV tomorrow morning to see what Nick and Jay have to say. If it gets said here while I'm watching this, I don't know. Like, obviously I'll be pissed, but watching those two gentlemen tomorrow morning will be an absolute electric factory if that's the direction that this one goes. Just can't understand how you let yourself get to that position where you just absolutely disappear defensively. Yeah, not a good sign when the opponents score on their first shot on goal. It's fair. 6 1/3. Zach, top wild card could work out. I mean, sure. Like, at this point, who cares who you play in the first round? You want to be the best team in the NHL? You want to be the Stanley Cup champion? Yeah, you got to have some luck for sure, but this team has pissed away all their luck. You lost to Columbus. You lost to Montreal. You lost on these easy paths that you had, or quote-unquote easy paths to the finals. Quote-unquote easy paths for you to finally have your shot at winning the Stanley Cup. You just pissed it away. So, who cares? And also, as far as the one reason that I would say, or one of the reasons, I guess, that I would say I really don't want to fall to a wild card spot as we go into the playoffs, or is first, I want the Rangers. No. Let's not do any I want this, I want that team. No, that is insane. We're not doing that. And the other part of it is, yeah, we want Florida. The other part of it is, if you fall to a wild card spot here, the type of drop-off that you would have to end this season is going to be so mentally draining, where your power play has absolutely sucked for the last little while. You're losing games. You're going in on a negative note. Your goaltenders are not playing that hot right now. You got a good game out of Joseph Woll the other day. Samsonov has been fine. He was really good. It's kind of leveled back out. Not where it's to the point where he's bad, but he's just average. Like, he's not costing you games. He's not stealing you games, I don't think. He's giving them some opportunities to win, but it's not like we're looking at him like a world beater down there. You gotta get your play in the right place here so that mentally, as a team and as a fan base, you can approach the playoffs the right way. Tampa is 4 points behind you, as according to the standings that I'm looking at right now, which should be accurate. 40, 22, 9. Yeah, that should be accurate. You fall off, you fall to a wild card spot, that's going to be pathetic. That's going to be pathetic. I do not want to see that. Shout out to everyone who's watching, whatever platform you're on. If you aren't on YouTube, maybe check out the YouTube, but we do appreciate everyone who's on Facebook and Twitter or X, whatever it's called. Thank you very much. Hit that like button, retweet, repost, whatever it is, whatever you got to do. If you are on YouTube, hit the like button. We're 13 likes away, 12 likes away now from 50 and some smelling salts to deal with this one together. Throughout the show here tonight, we'll continue to break on stuff that went down. We'll answer questions from the chat of people suggesting stuff, people talking about tonight's game. Break down the special teams, I guess, because people seem to be pretty pissed about that. We'll also do our play of the game, favorite play of the game here from tonight, and we will do our grade of the game. Mike Batson would love to see Murray-Jones tandem in the playoffs, but would take a miracle. Mike. Come on. Dude, come on. Have a water. You can't be just commenting things like that. What is that? You want to see Matt Murray, Martin Jones combo in the playoffs. That's what you're like, oh, you know what? This team could go for a run if we get Matt Murray, Martin Jones. Hello? Hello? What are we talking about? I got G-Mac, Matt Murray, Linsanity playoff run coming soon. Hey, if you, I just, oh my God, I don't even know where to go with that. Matt Murray has been so far out of my thought process about guys who could be a part of this team. That guy was so far off my radar. And then I saw him skating this morning, and I was just like, there's no way. Tammy, come on, a Matt Murray revenge tour, Zach. I don't know. I mean, look, maybe Sheldon Keefe's got this guy on the ice because he's freaking out. I'm seeing some tweets coming out from Mark Masters following the game here tonight. Sheldon Keefe hated lots about our game tonight. Hopefully the players hated it just as much or more. This guy's like, all of a sudden, Kyle Dubas isn't here, and he's allowed to say bad things about the players on the team. Shocking. We see, 4 years or 3 years of Keefe and Dubas here with them, and it's like, nope, can't say anything bad, can't say anything, Mitchie said something bad about him, go back out there and apologize, say that's not what happened, and now it's like, oh yeah, we played like shit. Call it out, call out the goaltender. Sheldon Keefe on Joseph Woll, you can't let in the first shot of the game. That's 2 in a row now, but the chances we gave up tonight are egregious. There's lots of issues in front of him. I can't even disagree, Sheldon. I cannot disagree. I could disagree with your approach. I could disagree with the fact that it has taken you 4 years here in Toronto to finally start saying some shit like that. But what is he wrong? No. Is he like, where is the lie? You can't let in the first shot of the game, for sure. It's a tough goal to let in. It's a little bit fluky. I don't disagree with that, but still, you kind of got to make that save. It feels like you're out by the blue line. It's a 1-on-2. The guy fires a knuckle puck that beats you over the pad. You got to have that one back. You had like 30 shots. Obviously, exaggeration. I get it. But you had an insane amount of shots. You had an insane amount of offense. You scored a minute into the game, and Joseph Woll just turns around and says, fuck off with the lead. First shot against in the back of the net. He's got to be better on that. He's got to be better. Chances he gave up tonight. Sheldon also saying there. Chances he gave up tonight. Egregious. Lots of issues in front of him. Agreed. The offense tonight was buzzing. We cannot complain about this. We cannot complain about this. The way that they played in the offensive zone, generating chances up front, Mark pointing out as well, 25 shots in the first period, they were buzzing. It was a defensive gong show. They basically weren't, it just said anytime it was going to go back the other day. It's like, oh my God. It was just non-existent. Let's just read more Sheldon Keefe quotes, because this is I normally don't get these this quickly. So love this. Instead of having a strong period and building on it and continuing to do the things that we had done well, I thought we just overdid it. It was just really immature. Oh, fuck. I swear to God, if I see this quote, if I see the words, if I see these goddamn words come out of a single player on this team tonight, I'm going to have to, well, you're all going to have to tune into the morning show. I'm going to be yelling and screaming for so long. If I hear learned lessons, my head might explode. My head might pop off of my body if I hear the words learned lessons following this one. If those come up on my timeline and I have to read that shit, there might be riots in the streets of Toronto tonight. I pray to God that they don't say that. Immature from our most inexperienced players and our leaders. Ugh. Guys, what are we doing? John Tavares has been the example for us. He's been outstanding for us for a long period of time. He himself got carried away tonight. That's our captain, so if that's going to happen, well, the rest of our bench is now we're just making it up as we go. Oh my God. Sheldon Keefe is going scorched earth on this team after this game tonight. It's like, okay, the thing is, let me be clear. I do not disagree with him at all. He is 100% right in the fact that this was a pathetic effort. This cannot happen. You should not be having this. But it's like you waited until like 40 games left in the season of your fourth year here to start implementing some of this stuff. And now I think for almost everyone involved, players, fans, people who watch around the league, analysts, it's just burnt. Like, what are we doing? I think Dan has ordered himself some smelling salts. And Dan, you are a lunatic, and I appreciate it. We have now hit 50 likes here on the stream. Regardless of what platform you're watching on, I appreciate it. For those of you who are watching me for the first time, if you watch Nick, if you watch Rosie, if you're listening on the radio, whatever it is, however you're consuming this content right now, I appreciate you for watching. I appreciate you for supporting the content. I this game tonight is one of those ones where it's like I don't even know how to get to the point of being pissed off about this one because like it feels almost comical. Like this feels almost comical to have watched what we did on the ice following the game on Saturday, following me coming onto this stream and being so happy about about the way that they played. And you just like 2 games, like I gave you the benefit of the doubt on Sunday and I came onto the stream and was like, it's tough. I get it. So I'm okay with that. The way you played, like, nice. And then this game tonight, like, just polar opposite. Offense is there, defense was not. Felt like the good old Maple Leafs that we've seen, where you just it just non-existent. Let's hit the smelling salts. Appreciate everyone who's liked the stream. If you guys get it to 100, then we do them again. It is what it is. And as well, we're 10 subscribers away from 8,000 here. That's a pretty cool number to hit. So you want to get the boys to 8,000 before they go on the show tomorrow morning? Subscribe here to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Like the stream. And as Dan is doing right now at home, hit the smelling salts. Thank you, everyone. All right. There we go. We will figure out, I will sort out how to get callers in because I know you guys like to call. I know you guys like to give your thoughts on the game and everything. As they're sorting some of this stuff out, I having my own issue with some of the audio stuff that's been going on, so that's a little bit tough. As well, no, I'm not going to get into that. I was going to get into... Congratulations to Zach Hyman. I'll do that. I'll give him the credit. He scored 51. He scored 50 on Sunday. He scores 51 here tonight. He gets the OT winner. Good for him. Let's try to turn away from some of the negative. Okay? As much as we can. I want to try to not be... Oh, no. All right. I'll wait for more quotes to come in because there's a lot. Let's get to some of the positives. William Nylander, 40. Shout out to Willie for hitting 40. Also, yeah, before I continue on the Nylander thing, Wilfred saying all you can do is laugh at the Leafs. That's kind of how I feel after this game. Like, it's like, it pisses me off, but that's all you could do. Yeah, I say let's get positive. Like, give me some positive things here into the chat, and let's get positive. And you guys just... People running away, scattering. Yeah, crickets. I don't hear anything from anyone. Give me some positives in the chat. Come on. Let's try not to be the most negative people on earth here tonight. Let's at least like have some good takeaways. And Dan, up. I'm glad you're fired up here now, Dan. Like get on your feet, Toronto. Dan getting smelling salts going. We hit 50 likes. Keep it going. Okay. Positive. William Nylander, 40 goals. That play, Connor Timmins, good patience in the neutral zone, waits for everyone to come out, doesn't just turn the puck back over, flip it back in. As Nylander comes around in with speed, coming out on the right side, passes it into him. He goes in outside the defenseman and just uses an incredible shot to beat Jake Allen. 5-hole under the leg. As Mike Johnson said on the broadcast, you got to assume he was expecting that one to go upstairs, expecting it to go over his glove, because if that's Nylander's bread and butter, and he just rips that one along the ice, too fast to react to for Jake Allen, and beats him 5-hole. consecutive 40-goal seasons. And the other thing that I look at when it comes to William Nylander here is like, this guy entered this game with 93 points. I think he's going to hit 100. He gets back-to-back 40-goal seasons. Everyone continued to talk about, he was just doing it for the contract. He's going to fall off after. He's not going to care after. And then he had a little bit of a down slump. He had a stretch where he was not there and he was not as great as we had seen him be before. He took some criticism, understandably so, but gets another goal here tonight. You guys want to see something comical, honestly, just go to the Leafs box score tonight and just look at minus. There's one player on the Maple Leafs who's not a minus tonight. No, two. Oh my God. There was one player who was even, and there was one player who was +1. I apologize. This feels like the most absolutely scattered show of all time, and I get that. So if you guys are frustrated with that, I get it. I'm sorry. But this is just like the most comical Leafs game that I feel like I've seen in a long time. Whether it was from just a consistency perspective, an energy perspective, like what I saw in the first period was what I saw in the first period. I thought I was watching the fucking Globetrotters out there, and at the end, I'm like, how are we down 2-1? Like, are we going to get goalied and we're going to lose this one 2-1? It was like, no, we're going to score 3 goals tonight and lose 6-3. What the hell happened? There's 2 players on the team who are even and +1. There's 3 players, sorry. I missed one of them. Even is one of them and +1 are the other 2. TJ Brody is +1. He had 2 assists. Ilya Lyubushkin is +1. He had an assist. And Bobby McMahon is dead even on the night. What happened? Nylander, 94 points, 40 goals consecutive. Good for him. I think there's a chance he gets to like 45 here. I think it's going to be fun. I don't see how he doesn't reach 100 points. You need 6 points over the last 11 games. This is a guy who could go out on Thursday night and score 5 points, like he could get it done all 6 on Thursday night, but Dan says, did you hear or see the highlight pack where they showed Willie at 40 and then said and shows Matty goal and said 60? I was like, what is 3 goals? My time pick hit for the first one. No, I didn't. I don't really recall exactly what you're talking about, but Wilfred saying Brody was better because he's playing with Boosh, potentially. Mike, a lot of positives in this game, but the outcome was awful. Like I said, Brody and Boosh look good together. Mike, I don't know if there was a lot of positives in this one. I don't know if there was a lot of positives. I appreciate you for feeling that there was. I don't know if there was. Oh my God. I just can't. The quotes coming out is like Christmas morning. Like it just keeps on giving. Austin Matthews, I don't think that's stuff you want to seep into your game at this point of the year, obviously, especially with 10 games left. That stuff just can't happen, and that's on us. That's on the players. Austin Matthews, a little bit of an immature game from us at times. Just have to have that killer instinct a little bit more, especially when you have a good first like that. You want to come out and stay on the hunt there, and in the second, we took a step back instead of a step forward. Do you guys want me to say it? Do you want me to say it so that Tavares doesn't? And I can be the psycho who said it and not you. And you didn't have to hear it from Tavares, so you don't have to run outside in traffic. I'll say it. Fine, I'll say it. Maybe they'll learn from this. Comments seem like there were a lot of lessons tonight. They didn't say the word, but maybe they'll learn them. I just can't believe what we saw. Like, the defensive effort after what happened when you're 10 games away from the playoffs is mind-boggling to have that happen. You are a team with your core, your best players having been. Thank you, Robert. Maybe they will learn from this. I'm trying to be sincere. Your core and your best players have been on this team in the NHL for at least 8 years. For them to have been as big of a part of the disappearing act that took place after the first period is... You just can't have that from them. And this wasn't just Matthews or just Nylander or just Tavares. This was all of them. So maybe this is a game you just take from and learn. And say that game can never happen again. That game is not who we proved or showed everyone what we could be on Saturday night. That game that we just played against the New Jersey Devils on a Tuesday night at 7:30 at home, that's not who we are, and that will never happen again. I feel like the biggest idiot in the world saying that. I truly do. But who knows, man? Maybe they learned some lessons tonight. Maybe they're going to come out and maybe they're going to be a different team. Maybe they'll have a different perspective. I cannot believe the comments that we're hearing in year fucking 8. In year 8. I'm looking at the comments on Facebook right now as well. I'm trying to read comments across everywhere, so I appreciate all you guys who are commenting and watching wherever you're watching, but to the Facebook people, 8 years, same movie. Paul, soon be golfing, boys. Jamie, if they continue to play the way they did tonight, they don't stand a chance in the playoffs. You cannot play that defensive game and expect to win. Some turnovers by forwards and slow defensemen and not defending well in their own zone is a terrible recipe. Yeah, this was not a good game tonight. This was not. Man. Wow. I don't know. What else you guys got here? What do you think about tonight's game? Like, were there any other positives? I'll give you one. Aside from how they played defensively, another positive that I have, which is going to make me absolutely smash my head off the wall when this comes back and riot down at Scotiabank Arena, is if Sheldon Keefe breaks up that first line. If he breaks up that first line, I'm going to lose it. Yeah, they could clean things up defensively, but I think that that's not just on Bert and Domi. Yeah, I think that included Matthews here tonight because I don't think he played that well in his own zone. That line is capable of creating so much chaos for another team in the offensive zone. I need to see them stay together. I think that that's one that you continue to give opportunities to, and when Marner comes back, you do not break them up, Sheldon. Do not break that lineup. Continue to give them some chances here to get it going. We heard about how Domi and Matthews are becoming closer and closer off the ice. They're good friends. There's a lot of chemistry between them. Do not change this. That line, the way it functions, it's got a lot of potential, and I think it continued to build. And we saw a lot of good stuff out of them. We saw a lot of good stuff out of them here tonight as well. Offensively. Defensively, this whole team, like, we can't just pin this on them and be like, well, they stunk defensively. Everyone did defensively. They all stunk defensively. That first line, I think, is good. That first line, I think, is going to be able to be an insanely difficult line to play against in the playoffs. And I feel like those two guys are going to give Matthews way more of an opportunity to get open and create chances and score than Marner ever could when it comes to playoffs because of the way that they play and fit into playoff style hockey. That's one that I want to see together. That's a positive how they played offensively. If that line is broken up, I will be so pissed. So pissed. Let's talk about the negative a little bit there again, because we brought up that line. We gave them the kudos. That pass at the end by Domi just cannot happen. I think a little bit Matthews Seward Domi because he makes that little stick blade turned over chip to get it over the defenseman's stick or like the defending forward stick over to Domi there. Gets to him. Domi probably quickly feels the pressure because he's got a guy coming on him. But I think you got to pass that puck back down to Matthews or find a different thing to do with it. Fire it into the far corner because just blindly firing it across the ice, it was the most immediate, oh my God, Alex Galchenyuk versus the Habs moment ever where I was like having deja vu and started shaking when that one happened. Fire the pass across, no look, and you got Curtis Lazar picking it off, sending Jack Hughes in on a breakaway, and he scores. Cannot happen. That one just can't happen. But outside of that, I do think like the line offensively, they were good. Domi was trying to make a play. There was some desperation. Yeah. Trying to think of some other positives. I don't know. Don't know that there are too many here tonight, guys. I can't lie to you. Patrick, how many games do the Leafs have to win for them to clinch a playoff spot? That's a good question. I don't know what the Leafs magic number is. Let's see if I can find out. Leafs magic number. Nope. What is this? Rangers clinched. I don't know what their magic number is. I'm bad at this chart. We'll figure it out. I'll figure it out for the next game. Question there from GMAC. Is this a burn the tapes type of game or a play it in the room until they learn type of game? You know what, GMAC? This is a good question because I don't know. I mean, it's obviously like what they do, but like if we're gonna look at what I've said after a lot of the games, a lot of times I just mean like burn the tapes, fuck, move on, forget about this. This was like, I hope tomorrow they pull up this video and they play it. And I hope, you know what, GMAC, this is the answer. I don't necessarily hope that they play this over and over and over again, but you don't burn the tapes. And what you do is not call out Max Domi. It's not call out Bobby McMahon and Pontus Holmberg, and it's not you calling out Timmins and Benoit. It's pulling up the tape and saying, Matthews, what were you doing here? Tavares, what the fuck were you doing here? Joseph Woll, you need to make that save. Jake McCabe, TJ Brody, who the hell were you covering? I think that's the conversation that has to happen. Also, shout out to producer Vic. He's got the magic number for me, 12. Magic number for the Leafs is 12. That would be points, I guess. Yeah, that would make sense, I think. That does seem to make sense. Yeah, but I think that this is the game that you come away from and just, when we're talking about burning tapes, thanks, GMAC. I think this is the game that you're talking about when you're talking about burning tapes. Do you watch them again? Do you look at this over and over again? This is just like, you're gonna make an example of this one. Yeah, there you go. 12 points, producer Vic. Thank you. This is, you call out the big boys. And you say, you can say all the stuff that you want in the post-game press conferences. You can say all that stuff. Sheldon Keefe can call them out there. You can call them out. That's publicly, and I appreciate that. I hope he's going to call them out behind closed doors. I hope he's going to do it in front of guys. And I hope those guys are going to take accountability for what happened, because they need to. After a performance like this, you need to step up. And Thursday night better be a different fucking game. That better be a completely different outcome, a completely different outlook on this game. All right, let's continue to wrap up where we're at with the stream here tonight. We'll at 11, make a wish. All right. Hopefully everyone did. Let's get to a couple more things that we have for this game. Oh, positive. We want a positive? We want our bets. Look, we talk about Bet99 and how happy we are to have them sponsoring the stream, sponsoring the channel. We are. But they know it. I know it. And you guys know it. We're trying to take money from them. Like, this is a game of cat and mouse here between the two of us. Mutual respect. But at the end of the day, we're going toe-to-toe. And we're going to try to take money out from them and put it into our pockets. And tonight we did that. William Nylander, anytime goal scorer, plus 115. Look, the way that this guy has been playing, the opportunities that he's being given in the offensive zone. He's on the power play there. He's developed so much more confidence. You knew he was not going to go an extended period of time without hitting that 40-goal mark. He had some good chances on Sunday, just couldn't quite get it done. Tonight, 40 at home, easy money. In and out, plus 115, William Nylander anytime. And we get that money into our pockets. You get that money into your accounts. And we can turn that one around. And when we get to Thursday night, we're going to have another opportunity to use some more of that money, because you should be signing up at Bet99. You should be placing your bets there. You know why? Because it's your local Canadian sportsbook and online casino built by Canadians for Canadians. A top-tier customer service, fast payouts, and smooth transactions. Bet99 should be your choice of sportsbook. You must be 19 plus. Please play responsibly, and available to persons in Ontario only. But guys, we are up on the season. Look, I keep giving out these plus money bets. If you know how betting works, you know the odds, the probabilities, that means there is less than a 50% chance that these things happen. That's what the odds are. That's what they imply. It is an implied probability, a likelihood that these events occur. We're giving out bets that are less than 50% to occur. And we're up on the year because we're taking some swings. We're making some good decisions, and we're evaluating this team in a way that, maybe Bet99 just can't. Smart people over there. Great sports book. The app runs well. But maybe we just know more about the Leafs than they do. We'll continue to find out as we go through the rest of the regular season and as we get into the playoffs. But we do appreciate our friends at Bet99. And if you haven't yet, head on over there right now and sign up. Local Canadian sportsbook and online casino. Check it out. Must be 19 plus. Please play responsibly. All right. Let's get to a couple more things that we've got on the schedule here tonight before we can wrap this up. It is late. We have been going for over an hour of just me ranting and trying to figure out what the hell happened. But regardless, money in our pockets, we'll take that. Play of the game coming up here. Play of the game, drop yours in the chat. I want to see, what do you guys have for your play of the game? What was your favorite moment of tonight? I think my play of the game is just going to be Willie getting 40. It was a good play by Timmins in the neutral zone. Puck leaves the zone after you had possession in there for a while. He holds on to it. He doesn't force anything. He doesn't just flip it back and give it away. Doesn't just flip it back and give it away to New Jersey there and just say, hey, you know what? We had all this offensive zone possession. We get the puck back here, and we're just going to hang on. Holds it, flips it to Nylander, who's curling around him on the outside, enters the zone with speed, gets off a nice shot, and hits 40. Consecutive seasons with 40. Everyone talked about he dropped off. He just got the contract, and he's out of here. He doesn't care anymore. I love William Nylander. I was a critic of his at first, admittedly so. I was pretty hard on him for what looked like some, not attitude issues, but just commitment issues maybe, or consistency issues is maybe the better way to put it. And he would just kind of dip, and then he would come back and have these really high highs and these really low lows. Over the last 2 seasons and then into this one, I started to kind of realize, hey, before he would have 5 games where he would go missing, and then 5 games where he'd be incredible, and then 5 games where he'd go missing. Then he kind of started to change it. He'd go 5 games incredible and 3 games missing, and 5 incredible and 3 missing, and it started to shrink down. And then as those seasons went on, he started to change it to not missing, but just maybe it's not your A+ game. Maybe it's your B+ game. And that's fine, as long as you can find it. He started to kind of condense that, fix that for me, and that made me become a bigger fan of his over the last 3 years as well. The way that he's played in the playoffs for the last 4, I've continued to become more and more of a William Nylander fan. So shout out to Nylander for hitting 40. I was so glad that he kind of shut people up who kept saying that $6.9 million contract was way too much. He kind of turned that one on its head, and then he signs the 11.5. Everyone said, well, he's going to piss off now. He had a down stretch. He did have a down stretch. He's got it himself back. Second play of the game, I'm going to give 2 tonight, and then we'll talk about that because it deserves it. It's just the Nylander one takes the cake. Just it was a nice play leading up to it, and he hits 40 there. That's got to feel good for him. But the other one is going to be the Bertuzzi goal. First of all, think about where this guy was at the beginning of the season, how frustrating it must have been for him, how frustrating it was for the fan base. I'm dealing with goofballs on here on a daily basis talking about the fact that Bertuzzi shouldn't be on this team. You should trade him at the deadline. He's a waste of money. He's a waste of time. He should be on the 4th line. He should be in the AHL. Well, Bertuzzi has basically turned that around and said, fuck you. He's on the first line. He deserves to be on the first line. He's proven his worth. He's worked his way into a power play 1 position, and he deserves to be there. He's truly going to be an impact maker when it comes to the playoffs. And on top of that, it feels like he's just kind of found his luck. I know that at the beginning we were talking about how he just wasn't in he wasn't in the rhythm, and it seemed like Keefe didn't trust him, and he probably wasn't as confident or comfortable with this team, and maybe some of the systems, or maybe just not enjoying as much playing underneath Sheldon Keefe. But it's turned around, and as Handshake Line is saying, we're almost at 20 goals for Bert now. It feels like the outlook on his season has been significantly different, and if he was even 70% of the player he is right now throughout the first half, Leafs fans would be absolutely in love with the guy to a degree we've never even imagined, even just given what we've seen out of these fans right now. It's incredible the way that he's been playing lately, and I'm happy to see him get rewarded. Also, another guy who's taken some shit, took shit from Leafs fans a little bit early on, kind of seemed like it swung back quicker, took shit from some media members here, and Sheldon Keefe didn't like him, but now also on the first line, Max Domi, he's the one who makes the incredible pass to Bert. Bert goes Forehand, backhand, forehand. And Jake Allen was in the corner when Burt went to his backhand, cuts it back, empty net. He has to tuck it into. That was a nice play, and it's a good way to start the game a minute in, but unfortunate that you're not able to keep that going throughout the remainder. I'm going to get to final thing here before we wrap this one up. I do appreciate all the support. Appreciate everyone who's liked, subscribed, whatever. If you are watching on Facebook, make sure to like the page, subscribe, like this video here, share it if you want to. If you know other people who might want to watch it, comments if you do enjoy the show here tonight as well. And if you're on Twitter, then hit that retweet button, follow us, whatever it is, any of that good stuff. Let's get to our final thing. I want to see you guys drop yours in the chat as well and hit the like button if you haven't. But let's get to our grades of the game.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
All right. Grades of the game here tonight. God, man. I don't know. I actually hadn't really thought about the grades too much. I'm not going to lie. This is one where I wasn't. D? Do we go with a D? Like, is that even... You had a really good first period. An incredible first period. But you even came out of that one losing 2-1. Like, you were losing 2-1 after an incredible first period. Not a great game from Joseph Woll. Terrible, terrible game defensively. And you get nothing out of your power play opportunities. Those, to me, are tough. You gave up 4 consecutive to close this one out. Devils, not a great team. And this isn't one where I'm willing to accept the excuse of like, well, we got goalied. No. Nope. I will not allow the we got goalied conversation. We cannot be discussing how we got goalied. You scored 3. You gave up 6 because you pissed off defensively. That's not good enough. Not good enough. If you enjoyed my show here tonight and you enjoyed my commentary, you guys are going to love tomorrow morning's commentary. Nick Alberga, Jay Rosehill, back tomorrow morning to break down what went on here tonight. Look ahead to what's coming up against Washington. React to Sheldon Keefe's comments. React to Austin Matthews' comments. Hopefully John Tavares speaks. That will be exhilarating. I can't wait to see what the boys have to say tomorrow. I appreciate everyone who tuned in here tonight. That's going to do it for me for this post-game stream. Tune in tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern time, right here on the channel. At least we got money in our pockets. At least we got money in our pockets. Guys, I know a lot of you who know me were probably expecting me to come on here and yell and scream. There were things that were very frustrating. Tried to get those out. This is honestly, if I can give you like a recap of my thoughts on this, was like, this isn't even a game I can come and yell about. Because this was comical, what just happened. This game and these results were comical, the way that this turned. So this isn't even a yell and scream type night. I'm pissed off about stuff, but can't yell and scream because it's like trying to compute what happened is like funny to me in a way. I know it's not for everybody, but like, what the hell just happened? You took it to them for 20 minutes, came away down 2-1. Mike Johnson says on the broadcast, you play like that for the rest of the game, you're going to win. And then they said, well, we're not going to play like that. Watch this. Why? What a team, man. What a team. Well, can't wait to continue to cover it for the remainder of the season and into the playoffs with you guys here. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in and watched here tonight. Hit that like button if you haven't already on the way out. Subscribe here to the channel. As far as tonight's game, this has been game number 71 of the Toronto Maple Leafs regular season, losing to the New Jersey Devils 6-3, moving to 40, 22, and 9 on the season. Thanks so much, everyone, for watching. Have a great night. Keep believing.